This is potentially a major project going here at the southwest corner of Penn and Northwest Expressway. All this would be gone, and it would be replaced with this. Jury selection has started for a man whose dogs allegedly mauled a woman to death last year. Antoine Burks is charged with manslaughter. The egg-shaped church in Northwest OKC will not be torn down. Milkshakes are causing a stir at campaign stops across the UK. It's like deja vu all over again. Our top story here at 4 o'clock, the weather. Well, those who live around Ski Island and Silver Lake are trying to get rid of a big stink. In what has been called a historic move, Oklahoma County Commissioners have approved a jail trust. The trust takes operations of the county jail. Now, the governor is expected to hold a news conference to talk about the damage left by our recent storms. While human beings have not landed on Mars, they can still leave their mark on the planet. And we've already seen one tornado touching down this afternoon. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist David Payne for more on who could see storms tonight. Well, it was a sigh of relief in eastern Oklahoma, where a dam held up after two barges smashed right into it near Weber's Falls around noon today. It looks like we're going to get a little bit of a break. The rain is done, at least for now. Chief Meteorologist David Payne is tracking the very latest. Let's hope it stays that way for a while. Over to the Capitol now, where the state Senate has approved an $8.1 billion budget. The budget includes a 5% boost in education funding and teacher pay raises. And just about 20 minutes ago, OHP reopened I-40 in that area. Meanwhile, Weber's Falls still under that mandatory evacuation order, as Amy just mentioned. Big changes for the Oklahoma County Jail. Commissioners approved a jail trust. That group will oversee operations of the county jail. News 9's Dana Hernicke today talked with one of the members of the newly formed trust, and the rain isn't helping because right now there are cracks in the Bethany War Acres sewage lines, and it could be a while before that problem is fixed. The Bethany War Acres Public Works Authority says it is working with the Department of Environmental Quality. It has no idea, though, how many cracks there are currently, so there is no timetable on when the problem will be fixed.
About 6 weeks left on some of these guys.
Inside this 20,000 square foot Dell City warehouse.
It's among the largest currently in the state.
Grower Chelsea Davis doesn't have much longer to wait on his weed.
We're hoping to produce about 1,000 pounds of finished bud every 120 days.
The electric bill alone is $15,000 to $20,000 a month. A lot of overhead. But watch for yourself as Bear, in just a few months, builds to bunches. The owner of the 10 Ziggy's locations insists legally he couldn't have gotten to this point much faster.
I would think this is about the right time frame for a major grow.
Davis had thought the infusion of his indoor farm into the market would send prices down. But they already have dropped significantly. He claims people were once paying over $5,000 a pound.
Fairly confident that by the end of summer we'll be in the $1,500 to $2,500 per pound retail price. This is our quarter-ounce bottle here. It's $60.
Because after working through the kinks and regulations, big grows are ready to come online. Before this, Davis says not all the weed being sold at dispensaries was legally grown in Oklahoma.
I would expect a lot of this product is coming in from other states.
I don't have a doubt in my mind it was happening early on in the program. I'd like to hope at this point it's not.
Representative John Eccles says enforcement of regulations like the newly passed seed to sale tracking will pick up after the rush of patient requests are met. So far, nearly 90,000 patients have been approved, along with more than 2,400 growers and 1,300 dispensaries.
The speed at which cards are coming in, requests are coming in, those are being handled pretty well, considering what they're going through. I think the enforcement side, they're still picking up on.
Bottom line, the majority House floor leader says you should expect Oklahoma's medical marijuana program to have growing pains.
We also started the Oklahoma program within 45 days. No state in the union has come anywhere close to that. Arkansas, it took over 2.5 years before they started.
Meanwhile, anyone with $2,500 not convicted of a violent felony is allowed to come to market.
It is a purely capitalist system, which means if you're one of the best in the market, you're going to survive.
It's pretty much Wild West here.
The system almost guarantees Oklahoma's newest cash crop will be getting cheaper. Karl Torp, Oklahoma's own News 9. Jesse Newell's portraits started focusing on patriotism a few years ago.
Okay, like right here. My only dad was my grandpa, which was a World War II veteran.
So as a way of saying thank you to Private First Class George Howell,
Any giving part of my heart came from my grandpa.
Jessie began inviting those left from the greatest generation into her Shawnee home.
August 15th, 1945. The words surrender and peace, those are some good words to hear.
I feel honored that getting some kind of recognition.
These 3 World War II vets, including 2 brothers, are getting their pictures taken.
Okay, and look over here at me.
It cost them nothing more
You guys smile.
than following orders once again.
And it's awesome.
All these small kids think heroes wear capes, and they don't. They wear uniforms.
To that end, Jessie has opened up her free photo shoots to all vets and does free sessions for active members as well.
It made me realize that at some point people cared.
Ken Studeville hopes more of his fellow Vietnam veterans will also be willing to go in front of the camera.
It would be therapy for them, and I think it would be an excellent idea, and I think it can help.
As you watch the care behind each click,
Let's go a little bit wider over here. Yeah, there we go. I want to get the front there.
you quickly realize this is about more than honoring service members.
It's like getting a little bit of time back with my own grandpa every time one of these guys comes out here.
Here's the finished product, using a newspaper from August 15th, 1945.
It's a glorious, wonderful thing that Jesse's doing.
And the more these parents see what I see, it's going to influence the way that they're raising their kids.
Jessie's pictures celebrate American heroes. For her, that status hasn't changed in more than 70 years. In Shawnee, Karl Torp, Oklahoma's own News 9. This Bethany War Acres manhole is surrounded by mud and muck, and here's why. This is after a little rain and after a lot.
It'll do it for 24, 48 hours sometimes after a heavy rain.
Neighbors say it's been going on for 6 months. Their video shows where the stink stream goes, right down the road, under a street, and into Ski Island Lake.
It smells like pure sewage.
When dry, the standing water has a sheen to it. And yes, that appears to be wadded up toilet paper.
I have feces and toilet paper in my backyard.
Shelley Brotherton says the sewage can back into her house on Silver Lake.
I have to leave my clean out cap off, and so the backup will flow out here instead of in my home.
Brotherton says she's constantly spraying down her yard after a big storm, but that smell
It's just been awful.
is tough to dilute.
It's just Mother Nature overwhelming the system. Could be one big leak, could be thousands of small leaks.
The Bethany War Acres Public Works Authority says for months it's been using flow monitors to pinpoint where rainwater is getting into 50 to 60-year-old sewer lines. Cracks are being repaired once they're found.
It's probably 90% rainwater when it's coming out.
Well, that 10% smells a lot.
Well, I've been out there. I don't think it does too much.
But those living close to this manhole
Very rank.
disagree. The Bethany War Acres Public Works Authority says it is working with the Department of Environmental Quality. It has no idea, though, how many cracks there are currently, so there is no timetable on when the problem will be fixed.